Man, that was Serena Williams. Quite emotional there with her bidding farewell to an illustrious career of a few decades. All the best there for whatever she decides to do in her remaining years there. That is Serena Williams, the tennis sensation. But welcome. My name is Malo Ramoshava. This is Off the Pitch Sports Show, and a really exciting discussion we have today with the man, the social commentator. They call him Penuel, the Black Pen. How you doing, my brother?
No, Marlo, I'm very good, and I'm very honored to be here. If I may, I just want to say, who's it to the Owens? They're in the cup. Love you guys very much, and also just to Abashali, Molweni, Guni Nonke. Thank you so much, and again, I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, Pen. I mean, we were touching off air, talking about Serena Williams and just the impact that her father had in their upbringing. I mean, coaching them tennis from a young age. We've seen, obviously, Will Smith made a movie about them as well. I mean, just talk to us about how the role of parenting with regards to, young people and developing them into, sports stars and, just that engagement that you need from a parent with regards to your upbringing.
Yeah, no, again, shout out to Will Smith, King Richard, and the team that gave the story on Serena Williams, Venus Williams, and the sister's father, and the work that he did. We speak about Tiger Woods, of course, as an example. And I guess from other examples, the Jacksons had their father, Beyonce Knowles, for example, had her parents as well. I think it's fundamentally important that parents understand how impactful it can be to be present when your children are playing. So I think not just celebrating Serena, celebrating all our stars in this country and abroad. If for some of the parents out there that are watching, you are not inspired to go and do something to be involved in your child's life, I don't know what more you'll need. And just to Serena herself, Naomi Osaka, whose parents are also pretty present, she's inspired all of us for decades. And I'm honored and a bit sad that she's leaving us, but she's done more than enough to at least pass the baton on to 100%. The next generation.
Pen, where's the line for you between pushing your child into a sport, encouraging them, giving them the opportunities, and when now it becomes like when the child maybe is not doing that well, isn't going to be a superstar? Where's the line where you're like, look, this is not working, focus on education? Because I'm sure we've seen it and you've seen it where parents push their children so much to a breaking point where maybe they don't want to do sports anymore. So is there that fine line between encouraging, supporting, giving them opportunities and look, this might not be the career path for you, try something else?
There's always a fine line. Having been exposed, luckily thanks to my parents working hard, having been exposed to more privileged, especially whiter people, I got to realize that they take sports as just part of the child's development. And it's only when the child shows a talent that they invest more, similar to like academic progress. A lot of black people in particular, they see sports as a way out. You see it in America with basketball and football, etc. So they think, otherwise sizolamba as a family.
Our gateway out. Yeah.
But you have to be realistic and have a balance. Your child's development is utmost. Academic, of course, sports and other things, maybe being involved in the church, community projects. But you must always understand that put the child's needs first and their development first. And it's only once they show some type of talent, or if you have some type of special opportunity, let's say you're friends with certain coaches and selectors, then you can push your child a bit harder. But always put the children first and do what's best for the children first.
Do what's best for the children. That is Penuel, the Black Pen, talking all things with regards to Serena Williams and upbringing, so important in the development of young people when it comes to sports. But Pen, talking about leaders, talking about black women, talking about success. Banyana recently played against Brazil. Obviously, they lost the first game. They obviously played today as well. But talk to us about them. I mean, their brand, Banyana, what they've been able to achieve. Regardless of results against Brazil and who they play, they are definitely, like the Springboks, putting the country on a map in this country.
One of the things that saddened me, Job is cool and just is that when they finish primary school, all of a sudden, they claim, they parties umbrella, compi, and those things. And they end up leaving sports, which is quite sad. If you look at what's happening in Jamaica, Shirley Ann Fraser-Price, if you look at American athletes, female athletes, if you look at Serena, Naomi, if you look at Banyana, I really urge young girls, young black girls in particular, I urge their parents to push them to push sports in high school, because you must understand sport is just another opportunity to earn money. It can't just be that you just want to be an influencer or an actress. Or you can actually be a sports star in this country and be involved. So I'm very thankful to Ibanyana for what they've achieved. We're very proud of them. And I think there's also a call to action for some of the ladies that work in companies, whether they work for brands, whether they're CEOs, to say, guys, okay, I may not be in sports, but we can rally behind these women and make sure that our companies get involved in paying them right, in investing in female sports. Abo Thando Tabete, for example, have got an annual netball charity run. And I know there were some female actresses, Abo Katlego Danke and the like, who had a soccer game for celebrities. We need more of our influencers out there. I think Uboiti was a fitness ambassador at some point. We need more of our female celebrities to push young girls, especially young black girls, young colored girls, to be more involved in sports, and it can change their lives forever.
I like that you touch on that, because budget ultimately does sit with the CEOs, the brand managers, and they are people that have the purse to allocate. And where predominantly it used to be males only, they used to push more of the budget towards there. But we've seen brands like Engine, we've seen a lot of brands now actually look at it and say, look, Banyana are doing well. Let's allocate budget to female sports, and look what the results ultimately are proving to us.
Yeah, I think it's been a beautiful story. As you asked earlier, in terms of personal development, young girls need to be developed as well. They also need to look good. Besides making Instagram videos of working out,
100%.
Play sports. Sports teaches you how to work in a team, teaches you communication, gives you self-confidence. It allows you to travel and to network. And who knows from there where you land up with sports. As we've seen, Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka have gone beyond tennis to become international stars, just as female entrepreneurs, female voices, etc. So I think for me, besides the responsibility of women in corporate, I really hope that more women will not only push the money from corporate, but understand that the reason we need the money from corporate is so that young women can develop.
Young women can develop. Those are words there from Penuel, the Black Pen. Very exciting topic in part 2, talking about South African players and maybe their lack of ambition by going abroad. Stay tuned. Off the Pitch is back, segment 2 of The Pitch, a sports show with a twist. And why do we say that? Because we often have different types of interviews, make you think a little bit, go beyond your conventional results on the weekend, but taking sports and dissecting it in a different way. And who better in South Africa to do that than Penuel, the Black Pen? We're still here, joined with you, Pen. You posted a video a couple of months ago. Don't really remember the topic, but you were talking about South Africans and potentially our lack of ambition to broaden ourselves, broaden our horizons. And I wanted to bring that into a sporting context, because you often see after the 2010 World Cup, for example, a lot of our players maybe who were at their peak, but maybe didn't go abroad, maybe just got too comfortable at maybe your big 3 teams in South Africa. And you mentioned something along those lines. I just wanted to pick your brain around your feelings around South Africa in general and ambition to further and better ourselves.
Yo, Marlo, we've had a very sad history as a country, which I think has impacted the majority of our citizens negatively. Part of that now means we don't have money, of course. Part of it, for some weird reason, means we're scared of traveling. Traveling to us is Mpumalanga, Eastern Cape, to come to Joburg, or to move from rural KZN to go to Durban. If you look at even the top PSL teams in this country, a lot of them have got foreigners from the African continent. If you look at some of the top European teams, they've got African foreigners. Those are people that, to them, traveling is more than just going to a Joburg. It's, I'm willing to broaden my horizons as far as possible. I think what I was speaking about in that video, and look, we've obviously got a foreigner, an illegal foreigner tension in the country currently. South Africans need to stop limiting their thinking and their ambitions to this country. We've seen Tutu Pitso and the amazing work he did in Egypt.
Absolutely brilliant.
We've obviously had Benny McCarthy, Quentin Fortune, we've had Opesi Tau.
Lucas Radebe and the like.
Lucas Radebe, huge legend. When you think about it, everyone, it seems, obviously wants to play for Kaizer Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns. And then from there, they want to play for Manchester United, Man City, they want to play for Barcelona, Real. People should not be scared to travel around the world. The world is our oyster, so to speak. So Amachita, go to Asia. Go to Europe, go to South America, go to North America. You don't have to play for the biggest team there. You'll find that even that division, the money you're making there is 5 times more than you earn here, and the exposure. Because everyone thinks you have to be born great. You work. Go there, don't be scared. And for the guys that are there already, build these comfortable spaces where you can invite other South Africans to come. You and I had a conversation earlier about the fact that a soccer player or a sportsman's lifespan is 5-10 years if
Extremely
they're lucky.
short, yeah.
You might find that even after the sports day, all of a sudden there's opportunities for business. There's opportunities for other types of commercial things like mining, farming, etc. Or you could even go coach or ref.
And then you
bring
come
people
back,
up.
Pen. I like that you touch on that. You know, you could start out in South Africa, you could travel abroad, get the experience and the exposure, and you can come back and then reinvest in your country. Yeah. You look at your likes of Didier Drogba, you look at the likes of Samuel Eto'o. You know, you come from an impoverished background, started small, played in the big leagues in Europe, maybe went to other leagues as well, then come back, become a prime minister, become president, you know. Look at your George Weah and the like. But from a South African point of view, I don't know if your average PSL player thinks that potentially I could go to China, to the third division. I could go to Australia where no one knows, you know, anything about football much in those countries. But at the end of the day, you're bettering your lives. Yes, you might complain about the food and the weather, which a lot of the PSL players do. But I find that a problem that the ambition is lacking from them.
Yeah. Ngakhuluma ivalo, just for
100%.
2 seconds.
That's why you're here.
Amajita amaningi mfethu ingqondo zabo suke ivalele kumashisa nyama to amantombazane to ukudakwa. Instagram, soft life. We've got crazy examples in other industries. Black Coffee in DJing, you've got Trevor Noah in comedy, Tusombedu as an actress, Elon Musk, the wealthiest man in the world, and even the wealthiest doctor in the world, Patrick Sonxiong, in America as well. We need to stop limiting our minds to here. Whatever you want here, I mean, those of us, abahlala eGoli, for example, we know Hillbro, you can export your culture that side. If ufuna ukushaya amabhrayi, ufuna mhlambe kushaya idudla ngeemoto, ufuna ishisanya, you can go and build those spaces abroad. And you can actually, like I said, after your career is done, who knows? You could be the person bringing South African culture to some of these spaces.
You could be a scout. I mean, you could take a young 15-year-old Cape Town child and you can give him exposure in leagues all over the world. But it's like they have that fear of, if I've left South Africa, I'm not going to be known, I'm not going to be popular, I'm not going to get a call-up for Bafana. Sure. But a lot of them are playing outside, for example, the top 3 big teams in the country and are not even getting called up to the national team. Sure. So why not give yourself that exposure abroad? Sure. It's definitely something that's lacking in this country.
I think for people that are scared, because traveling overseas is scary, just travel. If it means you're staying there for a week, I think is in England. Yep. For those that can, go visit there. 2 days, 3 days, do it often until you're comfortable in that space. You know, so familiarize yourself with being in a foreign country. Ungasabi, ukhululeke. One of the other pieces that you and I have discussed in our own personal capacity, you've mentioned the power of a cell phone as an example, as a game changer.
Yep.
I'm here because of social media and YouTube. But kids out there, the lighties in the Cape Flats, for example, Amachita, Mhlampe Kukuletu, other people around the country, guys, and for parents, since we spoke about Naomi and Serena, use a cell phone, go watch your child playing and document your child. You don't have to be super talented, but just with the little bit that you have.
The exposure could be huge.
The exposure on the internet, creating a YouTube channel for your child, creating TikTok accounts with your child doing certain skills, for example.
PSL clubs are watching, you know.
And then go overseas with your kids. The child also doesn't have to go alone. This is the other misconception. True. The parents can go there and chill with the child for a few months until the child is settled. And then you can leave the child and then come back. 100%. Or you might find opportunities there as parents as well.
Definitely. Penuel, it's been, time flies here on Off the Pitch. 16 minutes with you, absolutely brilliant. But before I let you go, your favorite sports team, I know you're a big rugby man, maybe on the football side, I'm not sure who you support.
Sure, no, I'll do the rugby quickly. We obviously love the Springboks, Siya Kolisi, Lucanio Am, who's arguably the best rugby player in the world currently. Shout out to all the boys at the Springboks. I love sports in general. So obviously the All Blacks in New Zealand, because rugby to them is a religion, are big to me. We love Brazilian football. We always will, always have.
Definitely.
Spanish football, of course. But keeping it local fates, I've always been a Sundowns fan.
Okay.
I see Bapis Bapakabula, everyone in the league.
Not quite on the weekend, losing to Sport United, but yes, overall as a brand, they're doing absolutely brilliant.
Sure. So Sundowns here, and then I've always had a soft spot for Ronaldinho and Lionel Messi. So Barca from an international perspective.
Barcelona doing absolutely brilliant there with Xavi. But Pen, before we let you go, your social media, how do people get in touch with you? I know you're a very busy man, so we really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much for the invite. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, @GodPenuel, it's one word. On my Facebook, it's Penuel the Black Pen, my Facebook page. And then my main YouTube page is also, or YouTube channel is Penuel the Black Pen. Then I've got a new show, The Penuel Show, And then I'm doing amazing work with DJ Sbu on the virtual Mkuku.
Absolutely brilliant. That's Penuel, the black pen. I don't know why he chooses black pen. There's blue pens, there's red pen. But I'm sure we'll ask him about that next time. But coming up, as we know that the transfer window in Europe closed, so we've got Sam back in the house to talk all things transfers. Stay tuned. Man, that was an absolutely brilliant 16 minutes with Penuel, the black pen, just picking his mind with everything with regards to sports in the world, in South Africa, and the excellent achievements of Serena Williams. But back in the studio, back in the house, in the chill session, is Sam. How you doing, my brother?
I'm well, in yourself, Malo?
Absolutely brilliant. Good sporting weekend. I mean, Banyana versus Brazil, the rugby. I mean, so much to talk about. I'm looking forward
It all went down.
Looking forward to getting into it with you. So, the European transfer window just recently ended, and there's a couple of players I want to chat to you about. And feel free to give me some of the top players that you think moved within this transfer window. But let's get into it. Your views on Aubameyang and Chelsea. I mean, former Arsenal captain, going back to London, had a stint at Barcelona. Good move for you. I mean, what does he add now to this Tottenham side?
I think it's a quality move because Chelsea's in desperate need for a striker. And that's their history as Chelsea, is having a good number 9 to carry the team and motivate them. Aubameyang has that clinical finish. We've seen it at Barca. He's been doing well there. And I think it will help uplift the team, giving less pressure on Sterling.
And he's played, I guess, for Thomas Tuchel in any case. Let's move along. Anthony, big money move. I think I'm hearing £85 million. Hasn't proven himself or hasn't played in the Premier League. Man United doing well, bouncing back. I mean, how do you see this move? At Ajax, hasn't scored too many goals, but is he the man to take Man United back to the top 4?
He's going back to his former coach, which will always make you feel a bit more at home and more in your shoes and in your skin. So I think he will catch up to speed quite quickly. My only issue is that price tag. I feel like Ajax were getting a lot of money.
You can't blame him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not responsible for the price tag. I mean, the clubs discuss.
I feel like Man U should have discussed a lower budget on that.
They were desperate.
True.
100%. But Sam, let's move on with regards to transfer. One I've been quite impressed with from a Man United point of view is that left back. You know, reminding me a lot of Patrice Evra. That's Malaysia there, playing absolutely brilliant, very similar to Patrice Evra. How do you think he's done so far?
He's been holding it down a lot better than Luke Shaw and the other signing, Alex. He's been more confident on the ball. Reminds me of Wan-Bissaka when he first came from the youth, bringing in a lot of energy and rough with the tackles, holding it down. So I think that he's covering it very well.
100%. Let's move on. Haaland. I don't know what more we can say about him. He started in the Premier League. I mean, I don't think Manchester City have had a player who's made such an impact in such a short space of time. Is this now the cherry on top, the man that's going to lead them to that elusive UEFA Champions League?
It looks like it. Back-to-back hat tricks. You can't stop the guy, you know. I said it 2 weeks back. You asked me if he was going to get more than 25 goals this season.
He's already killing it at the moment.
He's eating it.
Absolutely. We'll talk about their big game coming up on Saturday versus Tottenham. But let's finish off with the transfers. Lewandowski to Barcelona. I mean, that was a huge move. Brilliant player. I mean, I would have potentially thought Aubameyang and him could play together. Doesn't look like that's the case. I mean, started well. What do you think about that transfer?
Lewandowski is a very confident number 9. He can score goals in any way. He shields the ball well. He heads very well. He volleys.
Complete number 9.
Yes, one-on-one finishes, complete. And I feel like it doesn't matter where you put him, in whatever team you put him, he'll get the job done.
Who's better between him and Benzema for you, quickly?
Nah, Lewandowski.
Lewandowski,
I say yes.
Interesting. Will be interesting what the Ballon d'Or has to say about that. Mane to Bayern Munich. I mean, start once again like Haaland, hitting the ground running in a new league. I mean, we were talking with Penuel about African players playing abroad, but he's done it. He's done it at Liverpool, doing it now. I mean, how good can he still become?
There's always room for improvement, but what he's showing now is a lot more confidence. nearing the end of his season at Liverpool, he looked like he was just coming down.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like there was something happening in the dressing room.
So between
You
him
know,
and Salah,
him
one
and
had
the
to go for you.
And not really that,
Okay,
but more so
okay.
relationship with the club.
Yeah.
And I feel like he made the right decision for himself,
Yeah.
which is why he looks so confident
Yeah.
and why he's playing so hard.
But for me, they didn't pay him enough. But anyway,
You see?
we'll get into that separately. Gerrard and Lampard. You know, we've obviously had Scott Parker leave, Bournemouth being fired after losing 9-0 to Liverpool. But what's your view on players becoming managers, and if that always works? I mean, you know, they always say that just because you are a good player doesn't mean you're going to be a successful coach. I mean, Pep has done it. You know, Vieira's now doing it. But your overall take on players becoming managers and them automatically thinking they're going to be a success?
I feel like just because, let's say, they have good history, everybody rides on that to think that they can do the job in football, continue their job in football. And I think that's the wrong mentality. They should go through the same boot camp and training as other managers would who haven't played football. And they should start from the bottom and really earn their right to manage the big clubs. Because now you have situations where they're drowning the big clubs and hurting them, you know, just because they have a good status. And that's not how it should be done. They should
Big
really
Sam
earn
here
their
talking about boot camp. I don't know if he wants to join the army. But Sam, big game on the weekend. I'll just ask for your predictions. Saturday, Manchester City, your team versus Tottenham. They both had good starts. Score prediction. Give it to me.
I can say that Tottenham has Man City's number
Yeah.
all the time. They're
True.
always eating Man City.
True.
So I can't be too confident and say City win, but I
Yeah.
can give it a draw, maybe a 2-2.
Draw. They're not sounding too confident. That is Big Sam. I don't know. Are you Big Sam, Tall Sam, Little Sam? I don't know. We'll get into it. There's already a Big Sam out there in England. Maybe he should come and manage in the Premier League. But thank you so much, Sam. Thank you to Penuel, the Black Pen. Check out him on all of his social media pages, and we'll be back, same place, same time next week. We out.